is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm actually rebuilding one of my old builds. I do not have a video of this build up on my channel, like the original one, but I thought it would be really cool to redo it, especially since the old one looked absolutely horrible. I actually will show what the old one looked like on the inside at the very end of the screenshots at the end of this video, but I just absolutely hated the way that I did the old version. I also did not realize until a little bit further in the video that I actually was using a reference photo for the first time that I built this. So I found that same reference photo, like you see I realize it here, that's why I end up deleting that side wall on the top floor, but I ended up finding the original reference photo that I used so I could keep the outside the exact same, because at first I was like, wow, this roofing situation is really awkward. I don't know why it's so awkward, but then I realized I was trying to replicate the one based off of the real life build, which I don't know if this is a real house already. I just used an architectural website to kind of find these like examples. So that is what I did for this build as well. So in the original one, I actually like the exterior was not giving, and it didn't exactly look just like the one that I built here. The exterior is slightly different on this version than the like other one, because I realized that I've definitely gotten better at building than I used to be. I still wouldn't say I'm the best. I think that even this build, I didn't do as well on it as I would have liked to, but I don't think it's the worst that I've ever done. I feel like I tried to make it a lot closer to its reference photo in this version, because I actually ended up making a garage that looks more like a garage on the outside than the old one did, because I wasn't really used to building garages in the way that I built it in this video. I don't typically build garages anymore because I found it to be really hard, but since I found a way to build it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it another shot, maybe make a garage, and we'll see how it goes. And if I don't like it, then I just won't use it, and I'll figure out another way to make this garage not look super duper awkward. Obviously, I'm not at that point yet, but you'll see it a little bit after I finish building these pillars, because in the original build, for whatever reason, I didn't just build pillars like I did here. I just used the pillars that are in the game, kind of like the one that's beside the front door over there. Don't know why I did that, but I think that it's okay. We live and we learn, and that was definitely a learning experience, because in the old one, you won't really be able to tell what each of the rooms are in the screenshot, so I'm gonna give you a general idea. So this front part, obviously, I'm still on the outside of the house, but the front part that I'm working on here, it had, I believe it was either windows or just some big piece of something that was there, because in the reference photo, I don't know if it's supposed to be a secondary garage or what that front part is actually supposed to be in the real life house, but in the original build of mine, I just made it this weird office space, but it was super duper spaced out. It was just really weird looking in general. So I was like, I absolutely hate that. I need to redo it, because I don't know. I just wanted to look at my old builds, and then I was like, you know what? I need to redo this. This would be a great video redoing my old builds. I might actually redo a couple of my other older builds as well, because I did have a lot of fun trying to redo this one and figuring out how I wanted it to look. See, now you can see where I'm working on the garage. This is a method I've never used for a garage before. I've done it with windows, but I thought that for the actual look of this build specifically, that it would look better like this. I think that in the reference photo there are windows at the top of the garage, but I didn't really see a logical way to make it look like that without having to color the wall, and the wall is not colored on the real build, so like the real life house. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I will just have to make do with what I have because sadly, we don't have everything in The Sims that we have in real life, clearly, or else it would be a way different game. Like, I think that that could really level up a lot of things in the game if we had a lot more things that we have in real life in the game, but there's really only so much that you can do, maybe. I don't know. I feel like some people might be able to do it a little better, maybe. I don't know. I've never played the other simulation games that I know exist now. Oh yeah, see, I felt so proud of myself for doing this. The little like planter box thing that was out front, because in the reference photo there's a planter box. I'll probably just stick the reference photo somewhere in here so you know exactly what I'm talking about and why I keep referring to it, because it was just like, obviously since I was using it as a full-blown reference, I was like, I really need to try to buckle down and get it as close as possible to what the real thing looks like. So I did try my best. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I could have done some things a little differently and a little better, but I don't know what else I could have done, to be really honest with you. I don't know how else I could have made it look good. Now, for the top part, there in the reference photo, there's an, it's not an A-frame window, but it's a slanted window. We don't have slanted windows other than the ones that still connect over onto themselves. So it's like, you can kind of see it in this clip here, where it goes up into an A shape at the top, but it's square at the bottom. And I was like, that will not look right on this build because it's half of a triangle, not an entire triangle. So I had to make do with what we have. I do kind of wish they would add some angled windows that weren't just like the ones I was just talking about. Because if we had some slanted windows, that would be so great. I think that could make a lot of my builds more fun because I really like building modern houses. It's one of my favorite things to build because I feel like there's not a lot of pressure to. It sounds stupid, but I feel like there's not a lot of pressure to make it as unique. Because a lot of modern houses are plain white, black, brown, a lot of neutral colors, and honestly, I really like that. I would love to live in a house that looks like this. Well, not this one specifically. At least the exterior I would like to live in, but the interior that I did, I don't think that I would really enjoy living in that, to be really honest with you. But I think that I still did a decent enough job. Now, I did have some Sims in mind when building this, and I built it in Del Sol Valley. You could definitely place it somewhere else because I believe this is a 50 by 40 lot that I originally placed it on, but I placed it a second time on a 40 by 30 lot and it fit just perfectly fine. The only problem was that if you don't have BB move objects on, then it will not place the garage the correct way. So you would have to completely redo the garage yourself. If you want to do that, then be my guest. But if you don't want to, then I definitely suggest having move objects on if you were to download this from the gallery because it is on the gallery. It's called the updated modern carriage, I believe, because it wouldn't let me put updated modern carriage house. So it's just updated modern carriage. So you can find it there. My gallery ID is always in the description of my videos, so you can easily find it on my gallery ID. So yeah, I feel like that didn't really make any sense, but I'm sure that my point got across that you can find it on the gallery. The original, if you would like to see it and download it for yourself, not this version, but the original bad version, is on there and it's called Modern Carriage House. You kind of have to scroll down a little bit in my catalog to find it, but if you're willing to seek it out and you want to find it, be my guest. You will not be impressed by any means. I was so unimpressed and upset about it, and for some reason it had quite a few downloads. Like, not a lot by any means. I think it had like 8, maybe 9 downloads, and I was like, why did 9 people download this? It's not even bad. I mean, it's not even good. You can see how bad it is from the pictures that EA like uploads themselves, like the default pictures that it comes with, you can see how bad the interior looks. And I'm like, wow, someone really saw this interior and still downloaded it. I guess if you wanted to use just the shell wasn't really all that bad. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't all that bad. So maybe if they were downloading it just to use the shell, that would kind of make sense in my head. But if you were using it to play in and put your Sims in, I don't know why. I think you would be gravely disappointed in that build, honestly. But in the original, there were actually 2 bedrooms. In this version, there's only 1 bedroom because I was like, I don't know. The spacing was a little bit weird in this one. So I felt like I didn't want to put 2 bedrooms. I just didn't think there would be enough space. So yeah. But like I was going to say, the Sims that I had in mind for this were people who were high end. This is their second house. This isn't even their main house. This is the house that they show off to their guests when they just want to have people over, but they don't want to bring them to their real house. So they have this house here and it's all for show. That's why it doesn't look like it's lived in at all. Like there's a few decorations once we get to upstairs, but it's not nearly as much as I would imagine would be in there if someone was living here. So I was like, okay, that's the storyline that I'm gonna go with, and that's how I'm gonna justify how like awkward it feels. But like I said, I feel like a lot of modern houses look and feel like no one lives in them. And I kind of like that look. I like very sleek looks, very sleek, modern, nice, clean. I don't like a lot of clutter in real life. I've kind of mentioned that a little bit before. So when something has a lot of space and I feel like if I wanted to decorate, I could, then I really like that personally. Also, okay, the placement of this kitchen is awkward, but I was really proud of the way that I did this kitchen because I did something I've never done before. But my grandparents' house actually has this double oven look that I did. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely gonna do that double oven thing. Because I don't know, I just really like the way that that looks, especially in a house like this. I was like, yeah, this will definitely look super duper cute. It will look so nice in here. And that was what I was going for, just a very nice looking house. Like, you wouldn't be offended walking in here. You would just be like, oh, this is nice enough. It's a little empty, but it's nice enough. So, that was what I was going for. Nice, clean, not lived in, a little bit empty. Now, when we get upstairs, you'll kind of see that there is going to be a closet. I almost never build closets unless I'm just trying to fill in space, which I very rarely do. Well, yeah, I very rarely build closets. I just don't like having to do it. But for this house, I was like, yeah, they would definitely have a big closet. So I made them a big closet, and there is going to be one up there when we actually get to that part of the build, of course. The biggest part that I am unhappy with in this build is this empty space over here that I try to figure out what I wanted to do with. I tried placing down multiple things. Well, once I get back over there, I wanted to fill in the garage space because I was like, they might not live here, but they'll definitely have a car or two parked here. So I put those in there, but at first, I wanted that area beside the kitchen to be a seating area, and then I was like, no, absolutely not. That wouldn't look right because it would be too close together, and I just felt like it would look really weird. If it was gonna be an eat-in kitchen, then maybe, but I felt like it was already an eat-in kitchen. Like, it has an island in the middle, and it has the dining room literally right next to it, so I just didn't think that was going to look right. And I didn't want the living room to be right there. I felt like there wasn't nearly enough space for that, and I wanted to keep it the same as the original build in terms of spacing. So I tried to keep that all the same, but I just don't think it turned out the way I wanted it to for beside the kitchen. Now, I could have made the kitchen massive, but then I was like, no, it's still gonna feel empty whether I have a big kitchen or a small kitchen. So we just went with a small kitchen, obviously. Now we're upstairs working on the bedroom. The bedroom does not stay looking like this, like in its current state, but you'll see because, like I said, I built a closet, and the closet is going to be in this bedroom because there was really nowhere else for me to put it. So I put it in the bedroom. Plus, where else would you really put a closet unless it's a coat closet? But they don't have a coat closet, which maybe actually, now that I'm thinking of it, if there would have been space and it wouldn't have looked awkward, maybe I could have put a coat closet in this house, on the bottom floor anyway. But I think it would have looked way too awkward, so I'm kind of glad that I did not do that. But I also realized after I was done building this on camera that I missed a chance to put the same little table outside that I did in the original build, because there's this like fire pit table. It has like the fire in the middle of it, and I was like, why didn't I use it again? Because I really love the way that it looks, and I really wish that I would have used it again. It would have elevated the space a lot. So if you end up downloading this from the gallery, I highly suggest adding that little fireplace table because I don't know, I just love the way that it looks, especially in an outdoor seating area, which I think is what it's intended for. I'm not entirely sure if that's what it's actually for, but that's what I have always used it for, because why would you want a fire other than like a real fireplace inside of your house? Or at least attached to a table. Why would you want a fire inside of your house? Obviously, candles. I love candles. If any of you have a favorite candle, please let me know in the comments, because I love sweet smelling candles. I got a lot of candles from TJ Maxx, and there's this one that's like a vanilla cake batter, I believe is what it's called. It smells so delicious. If I could eat candles, that would be the candle that I would eat. I feel like that's such a strange statement, but genuinely, it smells so good. It smells just like vanilla cake batter, but a little bit sweeter almost. Like, it doesn't smell like a box cake batter. It just smells like super duper sweet and just really good smelling. So, I definitely want some more good sweet smelling candles. I don't even know what brand it is, but there's a lot of candle brands that TJ Maxx has. So if you ever go in there and you ever want to seek out a candle, look for the ones that smell the sweetest, if that's your vibe. I know some people like earthy scents, which earthy scents are okay as well. I think that I don't personally enjoy all the time having earthy scents, but I don't really mind them as much, you know? So if you like earthy scents, then I mean, that's a good thing, because who doesn't like a little, maybe a little flowery scent, or even like musky scents? Some of them can smell good, some of them are a little bit questionable. I've also found food candles, not the ones that smell super good like the Fruit Loops candles. There was a person at a local market of mine, and she was selling a Fruit Loops candle, and oh my gosh, you guys, it smells so delicious. But there are some in TJ Maxx that are like macaroni and cheese, popcorn. And I'm like, what? Why would you have macaroni and cheese as a candle, and why would you enjoy it? Also, there's a hot dog candle. It smells awful. I hate the smell. Like, I don't mind hot dogs as a food, but I do not like the smell of hot dogs. If I could subtract the smell of hot dogs from hot dogs, then I would, because I don't want to just smell hot dogs. I don't know. Maybe that's weird of me to say. I feel like a lot of things that I have said today are weird to say. Not necessarily a lot, but I've said about 3 questionable things maybe. So I'm so sorry for that, especially if this is your first time ever watching any of my videos. And if it is, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. There are a couple of other builds I would definitely recommend watching instead of this one. This one is just kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of bored. Just wanted something fun and easy to do. Now, that bathroom, it really gave me a lot of problems, and I feel like it was not easy to do. I know you probably saw me struggling with it, and I wasn't referring to it at all while I was talking about candles and hot dogs, but I did not really enjoy doing that bathroom because I had an idea in mind. I'm still not happy with the bathroom. If it would have been bigger, I think width wise, then I could have done a lot more with it, like how I wanted to. But with the certain, like the specific size that it is in this build, I hated it. I don't mind the sink area so much, and I don't mind the shower, but the way the bathtub and the toilet look, I was just like, no, absolutely not. I really hate this, but it's okay. What can I do about it now? I've already finished the build, so there's not much. I mean, of course, I can go back and fix it. It's in my game. I don't know if I want to keep it in my save file. It is currently in my save file world, but I don't think it really fits the vibe that I'm going for in my save file, and I wasn't really wanting to target Del Sol Valley as one of the places that I wanted my save file to focus on. I'm trying to primarily focus on doing Willow Creek, Newcrest, and Oasis Springs, as well as Brightchester, because I love the idea of having the college town actually feel like college students live there and not just feeling like it's a bunch of, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like college students live in Brightchester, in my opinion, at least in the housing. I hate the way that the dorms look. Also, I'm gonna probably make it look a little bit closer to what dorms I have stayed in look like. So that's what I was thinking of doing for that. But anyway, we're getting super duper close to the end of this video now. So I hope that you've enjoyed listening to me yap about, mostly, for the most part, I've just been talking about this build. I would say primarily about this build, but also about candles and hot dogs for whatever reason. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed and that you enjoy looking at the rest of the video. There will be screenshots, of course, as always, after all of the building is finished, which I'm pretty sure I'm about to finish here. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!